All right, good morning, everybody. Today is March 15th. It is Wednesday, and today we have lots of news. Um, as y'all know, I haven't been here in a while, so let's get started. So today we do have core PPI at 10:30 a.m. Should have passed already. Um, which the estimated was 0.4%. I'll go ahead and check out what's the current for current data. We'll look at how it is. Anyways, we had EIA reports at 4 a.m. and at 6 a.m. we had mortgage data. So the main thing to watch out for as of right now, of course, the importance is core PPI. Um, and the one to expect today is business inventories and crude oil inventories, which is just at open at 9:30 a.m. If the audio is good, let me know. And if there's any questions as well, let me know so we can get fully started. As far as earnings go, today we do have Adobe's earnings post hour, which we should watch for to see some volatility between the Google um, and other related companies. FedEx earnings is tomorrow as well. FedEx is a great company to watch for. Um, and I believe it says Meta as well. Let me double check on that. We'll double check in a moment. So core PPI, we're looking at a 7:30 core PPI came out and it's 4.4 year over year and zero point 0.0 actual. So we are actually at 0.0%. Um, it looks like that's about it. Double checking this news, trying to check out if it's correct or not. Yeah, okay, so we do have a 0.1%, minus 0.1% PPI for the month of February. But core PPI is 0.0% in actual. The change is just negative 0.1%. So that's really about it for this core PPI. As far as anything else goes, we're gonna double check this meta in a moment. But let's get started. Good morning, good morning. All right. So first off, today looks like a great day. Of course, this morning, we had our core PPI, but we also had news related to interest rates. Our interest rates actually had been cut for the first time in a while, um, to 100 BPS. So that's 1% interest rates by December. Uh, so that's actually big news. We're cutting interest rates by 100 BPS. It's the first time we've done that in a while. So we're gonna see um how we do. It's already priced in, so we're gonna see it as we see. Today we dropped quite a lot pre-market. Um, so I do want to see how we do react today. Looks like we're bouncing off of one of our levels, 3873. Um, let's go and check what are potential levels to watch out for. So of course, as you all know, I haven't been trading this week. I've been out for some personal reasons, and now we're back. And I'm watching. Looks like we bounced off this key level while I was gone. Rejected off this key level. Started approach at 3975, which is key for rejection, as we talked about earlier in the past. Our consolidation box seems to be really strong. We've been using this median as a support and or resistance. Um, so yeah, the level's been working out pretty fine. Looks like we're still stuck in this consolidation box. So as far as what are we going to be doing, it's likely we're going to be chopping in between. Um, we can possibly use this median as a reject. We'll see how we do react there. But of course, our main goal is going to be to get it to this spot. As we can see this past week, just from looking at it, we have been using this whole zone as a rejection spot, so possible supply zone. And this comes from last week's. Um, levels of support, like right here, and the week before that, level of resistance. So if I can scroll enough really far back, just go to 50-minute. So we even used the spot as a resistance now. It was a support last week, and the week before it was sort of a resistance. Also consolidation we rejected there. 3975. So yeah, this spot that we're in, if we get up there today, which is 100 points, it's gonna be a little tough for us to do. But if the case that we do get up there, I do want to see some shorts start to step in, some sellers and profit takers. Um, but also this 3939, which is Friday, at the time that I was trading last week's Friday key level, it was a bounce level right here, or I believe Friday's back here. Yeah, Friday or Thursday, one of these days. Um, 3939. Let's look for it. I think it's right there. Right there, we saw a bounce and mooned off that day. So if we reject, we could also use that spot. Of course, consolidation box, we can see some momentum loss there. So we may take that opportunity. As far as anything else goes on this ES, it does look like we're bearish. So if we're going to play the put side, watch 3873 for support. Looks like pre-market and they're bouncing there. Watch 3859 for possible support. These are all just basic supports, but the main one we want to watch for is this demand. 3839 from um Monday, it looks like, has been a strong spot, so we can see that become something of today as well. If we get down there, there may be some profit taking for short sellers. Um, there could be some continuation down to 3817 for a bounce. There's a lot of stuff to watch out for, but we have an idea. We're gonna buy down here, short up here, look for rejections or consolidations between this zone and or the ones below it. So that's about it for ES. So I'm gonna move on to SPX. All right, so it looks like we're probably gonna gap down. Yeah, shade looks to be like we're doing good. Gonna get more closer in the time frame. So far, low here, lower high, low, oh, high here, higher high, higher high. Trend has been up. If we start to break down pre-market, then there's likely that we're going to see a continuation down. So far, this has been the trend that I'm looking at. So bear flag, as you guys know, we're likely going to see a lower low, especially if we gap down. I'd like to see us gap down and stay above this whole spot here, 3825, 3925. 3825 is an inflection point, so it's likely to see the most amount of volume. It was the most amount of volume the last time we touched, which was around this volatile spot. Um, so I do want to see this spot be filled with volume and or become an area where we can take some calls. I'd also like to see hold above this 302. As far as any levels below it, I don't have any levels below it. I'm gonna have to do some more charting later today to find some. But we can try and look for some right now. Maybe this small support we could look at. Just based off of this rejection here, this bounce here, this bounce here, this rejection here. That's about it. It's a small one, nothing too crazy. If it's not bolded, it's not strong. That's the idea. If it's bolded, it's strong. If not, then it's just the level we're watching. Um, so yeah, we'll look at these spots, and of course we are going to gap lower, so we're going to look for bounces between this three spots. And if we do look for rejections, look for it at this demand. That seems to be serving as supply lately, but we'll look at how it does for now. Yeah, so this is it for SPX. We're gonna start looking at. I want to check out Meta. Does Meta for earnings? Doesn't look like they do. Yeah, because they had earnings recently as well. Looks like Meta hit the supply while I was gone, we're at the supply zone area. This is where I want to see sellers take their profits and us go lower. Looks like we've had a nice run while I was gone. Um, so far, let's look at this. Looks like Apple, nice little range that we've been in for the past 1, 2 days. Even pre-market. So if we can get an open range breakout of lows, including pre-market lows, so that is 150.12, and potential highs, which could be this 153. We're gonna see how we react, whether we sell off at those spots or if we go higher, leading us to a continuation, or lower, leading us to continuation. Either way, it looks good. Sell spot, buy spot so far. That's the idea till we break. Let's look at what else. And of course, if you guys have any tickers you want me to watch, let me know. So Costco, looks to be respecting retracement yesterday, so that's good to watch out for. Um, if anything, we're gonna bounce off retracement down here as well. Yeah, so this little range of retracement looks good. We had our double bottom. Now we're starting to see rejection. Still lower lows or higher lows, so that shows it's bearish. Still nothing that piques my interest in it, so I'll move on from there. All right, we have our NVIDIA. Um, so NVIDIA rejection off supply this morning. Looks to be possibly trying to attempt it. Looks like we attempted it high a day yesterday, started to sell off before we touched it. Now we're up there pre-market, rejected it. Now we're sort of down 237. So if we do see some bullish action on chip sector specifically, I'd like to see some reject between this 242, this high right here, which is 244, and overall 247, which is just a monthly long supply. We go into the 1 week. We're going to see that as a potential supply spot. And overall a look for some sellers to be active at. So yeah, there we go. We got our candle there, candle rejection, overall consolidation. So we're gonna look for some rejections there. Overall, we also got our rising wedge. It looks better on the 4 hour. Um, yeah, so we got our rising wedge. We're looking for a continuation down. We did break, but it looks like we rebounded the second after hitting 223, a potential price target. So we're gonna look to see if that's something of a possibility today. And let's move on to Tesla. So Tesla, so far looks like it was bullish down here, which is this spot, which is good to know. So far we know that our sellers are active up here. So if we hit a higher high, it's likely that we're going to continue, which we should mark down right there, which is actually pre-market high as well. So if we can get that, or we can continue higher. This is actually a key level. I'm going to highlight it. This spot can end up doing us some good today for scalpers. We got our reject here, our rebound to reject. Now pre-market high. So if we get higher than that, that could be a possible opportunity for some calls. I'll highlight that and look to trading that if we do get above that. As far as price targets go, we're gonna look for first off this spot reject here, also pre-market reject there. Could be a good spot to take some profits. We also got one potentially right here, super tight. But we're going for reject, rebounds, and overall spot right there. We're going for tight levels as we don't really think that the upside to the market is really high. So we're gonna make sure to take our profits really close if possible. And our last one is right there. Right before our reject there, but also small consolidation box there that we could try and take some profits at. Overall, these three levels look good above it. We're going to look to see for a breakout. And of course, we discussed Meta. Meta's at supply. I want to see a reject go lower. Amazon. Let's check this out. All right, so Amazon. We're going to check to see if this is a wedge resistance. It's most likely not. Yeah, it's not. So far Amazon's been really choppy. That's its price action. We've been seeing some slow chop down. Now we're starting to see that consolidation, potential momentum gain. So we have a trend down. Now we're starting to see that curve. So what could either happen is we're looking more bullish, but we have yet to hit a higher high. So we are hitting higher lows, which is high there, higher low, higher low. So that tells me that we're still down short term, but our curve is to the upside. So we have potential to continue on going up unless we hit a lower low, which we haven't done in a while. So I do want to see how we do react today. As far as key levels go, we know that this 93 spot has been a spot that we've been acting as a support or resistance for the past month or so. We've got this as a support here. You got this as a rejection here. And sort of the same thing since earnings. I won't be watching Amazon for anything too crazy unless we get up to that 96 towards 97 towards 98 towards 99 spots where we can look for rejections specifically. But other than that, let's move on. Looks like AMD had a rally while I was gone. So yeah, that chip sector seems to have been strong. Um, 88.09 reject looks like was a great spot to have our levels marked down for. If we continue, I want to see us get to that 88 again today and or 80 or 91 where we can grab some heavy puts. As far as a continuation lower, it's likely, especially if we do sell off from this news. Um, but we do have a lot of level of resistance for any sort of buyer or sellers. We got our bounces, rejects, and sort of we're starting to see that again pre-market. So this whole spot here is a little iffy for people who are trying to buy in or sell. It'd definitely be a price target for sellers, but for buyers would also be an interest spot. So that's good to watch. Netflix, nothing good there. HD, new low, lower low. Home Depot has been bearish since their earnings came out, where we gapped down a huge amount. Um, Now we're starting to see some lower lows. We stayed below that 292. Really nothing I'm going to be watching. As I feel like it can continue going lower until we start hitting this 265 to 267 level. So we got a long way to go for that. But for now, I'm just gonna move on and we'll see it and review it another time. So Microsoft looks like it broke out of resistance, broke out of supply, hit a higher high, and ended up going now entering back. Potential will probably be that we go. So far, we went from bear trend, so high or low or high here, higher low, to a small higher low to another higher low here, and now we're higher high. So our trend is up at the moment. Where we can either see a bounce, continuation higher high again, or we see a lower low, head back towards this trend support, or we hit over here. It's really up to the potential of investors during this market. And of course, BA looks like BA bounced off this key level 197 pretty well. the other day. As far as rejects go on the short-term frame, I'm gonna look to be drawing a zone at the spot. I'm gonna draw it up here. For some small rejections over the spot. We got a reject box here, rejection here, rejection there, 3 rejections there, rejection up there, overall rejections. We did break a higher high, but we entered and made our way back lower after rejecting the top right there. So yeah, we can go lower. I'm gonna watch this for supply, for a bounce, watch here for rejections. That's about it. And of course, ABE is earnings today, so I'm gonna watch Google for potential hedge. Looks to be doing that same thing we talked about last time we had our pre-market prep, where we see this as a rejection 95. Now we're seeing this high as a rejection pre-market, including um, yesterday's high. So if we break up, we know that this is going to be our next spot. And if we break low, it looks to be that this whole spot between these 3 levels have been a spot of buyers. So it's likely that we see buyers down there as well. We're sort of stuck in the median, but our pre-market high is making us look like we can hit an orb strategy or open range breakout to get a higher break and scalp to 95. This sends, it's only $1 move, so I haven't checked the IV on these contracts yet, or Delta, but if we get a $1 move and it's a good amount of profit, then this can lead to a nice opportunity. All right, now we got Walmart. So it looks like Walmart ended up breaking demand, is now using it as a resistance for the past few days. Looks like we've tested that balance multiple times. So overall chopping in this consumer stock. I'd like to see how we look below that on the daily. Looks like so yeah, it looks like this has been a spot in the past where we've seen some bounces. Kind of want to mark down a potential level right down there. We got our bounce, bounce, bounce on body or wicks below, so that's good to know. We got our bounces here on the wicks as well. Wicks below, wicks below, wicks below, so that's good. So far it looks like this could be a bounce. If not, we already bounced. We're gonna look at how we do on Walmart. But Walmart overall now in a bear trend after having this bull trend for a while since earnings. So yeah, we can go lower. So let's look. This is PayPal. I'm not gonna really have anything of interest in PayPal at the moment. SQ, let's go back to 15. So SQ did break out of this. Yeah, this broke out of this wedge. Um, and then eventually re-entered it. And now we're looking at support, sort of seeing buyers there. Now using that rejection. So we're starting to see a pattern back into the trend. Or now we may squeeze and we may break up or we may go lower. But overall it's in a pattern, it's re-entered that pattern state. We're gonna look at how we do over the next few days or weeks. And then Roku. Nothing of interest here for B. Now remember, we do have our demand here. Um, Still not so much interest for me yet. Unless we break this trend, I'm not gonna really look into it. But we do have oil data. I don't really have anything there for oil as far as watch goes. Crowd again trying to attempt to fill. We already filled gap, but we're gonna attempt to try and push up higher. AMAT looks really interesting with this triple top. Overall, I know it's gonna try to hit higher. It seems to be something that we've been doing for the past few weeks. So we'll watch on for that. All right. Then we ended off with JPM and SE, where JP Morgan looks to be selling off after hitting 135 and buying off after hitting 128. Still looks to be a stock that doesn't have interest by investors yet, because banks are currently undervalued or oversold. So it's seeing this as sort of concerning. It just shows me that if we continue trending this way, we could either hit lower lows, or if we continue trending this way, we could hit higher highs, overall determining which direction we go. I do know that JPM has had a lot of deposits lately due to it being a big bank. So, of course, people find it more secure. Therefore, they do have more um, volume coming in, basically, more money coming in, um, as far as their banks can hold. I'm trying to look at this orb, try to see if it's a spot of interest. It does look like a spot of interest. We look at 135.28 for some calls, continue higher, potential price target 136, and continued. And then we got our SE. SE has been holding some IB levels, initial bounce levels from the past week. Still nothing that really catches my eye on SE. There's really nothing here after gapping up. It's just been consolidating down and then just big movements down. Um, but nothing that is really eye appealing to me. So yeah, we're gonna end this session here. Not a lot that I have on watch. Of course, today is a risky day, just as any other day is. But I'm gonna be trading slow today, as you guys know, it's my first day back. So I'm gonna be taking things a little slower. Only taking the opportunities like we see down here, potential calls. All depends on volume and momentum. But the sizing for me is gonna be small, just to try to get back into things. But yeah, that's about it. As far as the review goes, of course, we're watching calls down here, puts that up here, consolidation up here. So if we do get to 3914, that's going to be a momentum loss reject for potential puts at 3914. That's about it. All right, y'all. So hope you guys have a good trading day. Hope you guys trade smart, trade safe. As you guys know, today is a risky day, so be aware of that and trade smart. So I'll see y'all. Have a good trading day. Peace out.